When I finally pulled myself from the balcony, I showered in preparation for the ball. When I got out, my phone was ringing, but I made the decision to ignore it. Instead, I got ready in my comfy clothes and brushed my freshly washed hair. A knock at my door made me jump. Who was there? Sighing, I walked over and looked through the peephole. It was only Zoya. I opened the door and was crushed in a hug. I relaxed in Zoya's embrace and hugged her back. I didn't realize how badly I had needed it. "I'm so sorry, Arya. I wanted to talk to you yesterday, but I didn't want to hurt you even more. I just want you to know that you are so strong, and I am so proud of you for not making a scene but just accepting it. It must be so hard for you," she said, still hugging me. "Thanks for being there for me, Zoya, and giving me the time and space I needed. So what brings you here? My brother annoying you?" I teased. Zoya laughed and replied, "No, not today. He is under strict instructions not to piss me off today. I don't want to be turning up to the Lycan ball with a mate when I am pissed at him. Actually, there is another reason I am here." I raised my eyebrows in question, and Zoya sat down on my bed and patted the space next to her. I sat down and looked at her in confusion. "It isn't anything bad. Mom just wanted me to remind you about something important. I knew you probably forgot after everything. Remember, tonight we aren't the only pack at the ball. There is another important pack coming. Your cousin's pack." I gasped. How could I have forgotten? My dad had a younger sister who had found her mate in another pack, so she moved there. They have twin daughters, my cousins. I am very close to them both, and they are only a year younger than me. The last time I saw them was Christmas last year. Now I couldn't wait for the ball. All thoughts of Hunter flew from my head. Now I was super excited to see my cousins again. Nia and Dia Chopra were identical twins who had been my best friends during my childhood. Oh, how I had missed them. Seeing the smile on my face, Zoya said, "I love that smile. I knew you would be happy when I told you this. Now you get some rest before getting ready." After saying goodbye to Zoya, I lay on my bed and decided to finish the book I had started in the car. I had about 40 minutes before I needed to start getting ready, and that was enough time for me to finish my book. So, I was sucked into the world of mystery until then. When I finally finished reading, I stretched and reached over to my phone, which was on charge still. I had a few messages from Sophia saying she was excited to see me, and from Nia and Dia also saying they couldn't wait to see me. After responding to the messages, I scrolled through Instagram as I had time. Before long, I had to leave the warm, comfy bed and begin the tedious process of getting ready. My hair was the first thing I tackled as it was still wet, so after drying it, I decided to curl it. But before that, I put on my dress. It was maroon-colored and came just above my knees. It was one of those dresses that was shorter at the front and longer at the back. My dress was also off the shoulders. I loved it because it was simple but also suited me. Then I got started on my hair, which was relatively long and easy to curl. Once it was curled, I decided to do a half-up, half-down hairstyle. Looking in the mirror, I was pleased. Now it was time for the tedious part, makeup. Sitting down on the hotel desk, I pulled out all the makeup I had brought and my trusty mirror, which I always use. 30 minutes later, my makeup was finished, and I was pleased with it. I decided to keep it simple because I didn't want to go all out, although I had put on false lashes, which I rarely do. The next stage was jewelry. I wore simple earrings and all my piercings. Yes, I do have a few of those. My necklace was a simple gold chain with a heart-shaped pendant. My grandparents got it for me when I turned 16, and I wore my charm bracelet that I had gotten from my parents when I was 18. I was good to go. Obviously, before I left, I had to take some pictures, but then I realized I was running late. Quickly putting on my heels and packing a little bag with all the necessary things, I left my room. Mom had texted and told me to come to her room, so that's where I headed. As soon as Mom opened the door, she gasped. "Oh, my baby looks so gorgeous." I laughed and thanked her as I walked into my parents' room. Dad smiled and told me I looked like a princess, and Zoya corrected him, saying I looked like a queen. I rolled my eyes at that comment. Sai announced that he would have to keep an eye on me because apparently the whole male population would try and hit on me. Zoya hit him and said to loosen up. After Sai got told off by Zoya for being too overprotective, we all took some pictures and headed downstairs. Carter was standing in the lobby and smirked when he saw me. "Wow, Smiley. Who knew you could clean up so nicely?" "Wow, who knew you were such a jerk?" "Oh, that's right, everyone," I teased. Carter rolled his eyes, causing me to laugh. On the insistence of all the parents, we had photos taken. Carter made me take silly photos, saying that it would look perfect on his Instagram. I said his 3 followers would really appreciate it. Carter was the best at getting me back to my normal self. Us joking and insulting each other was part of our friendship. The best thing was, I was so busy having fun that I didn't even notice Hunter and Lana standing there. It was only when we had to leave and the cars turned up that I realized they had been standing there the whole time. I glanced at Hunter, who was actually looking at me. Before, I would have melted seeing him look at me, but today I just smiled and turned back round. Carter held my hand as we got into the car. Since Carter was the alpha, the car we were riding in was just for him and his beta. Luckily, I sat in the front with Carter, while Hunter and Lana were in the back. The palace was only 15 minutes away. I could handle a car journey with Hunter. As soon as the car started moving, Hunter and Lana started eating each other's faces off. The noises they made were awful. I looked at Carter, who had an angry look on his face. "Hunter, I don't appreciate you and your mate making all those noises. I am trying to have a conversation here, so shut it," Carter said sternly. The kissing stopped immediately. I had never heard Carter be so serious, but I was actually glad. Those noises were going to make me be sick, and I mean, come on, show a little consideration. "Anyway, Smiley, you better not leave my side tonight. I know all those unmated males would love nothing more than to get with you," Carter said. "Wow, Sai said something like that. I am not getting with any unmated male anyway. I want to spend time with Sophia and my cousins. Priorities," I replied. "That's my Smiley. Always wants to be with friends and family," Carter said proudly. "Hey, what if you find your mate? I mean, there are going to be loads of people there. Your mate might be among them," I said, looking at how Carter's eyes lit up when I mentioned the word mate. "Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't that be something?" Carter replied. "I would have to warn her, though, how crazy you are and how you have no friends," I joked. "Whatever you say, Smiley. I know you love me." Carter winked. We didn't get to talk for much longer as we arrived at the palace. Carter helped me out of the car, and we waited for our families to arrive. When everyone arrived, we had to go through strict security. After that was over, I gasped as we entered the palace. It was gorgeous, the high ceilings with such intricate designs. The decorations all suited the color scheme of the place. Sophia had done an amazing job. "Arya!" Sophia's voice traveled through the crowds. I laughed as she rushed over to me and engulfed me in a massive hug. "Hey, Sophia, you think you can let go now? You're crushing me," I said. Sophia let go immediately and apologized. I teased her, saying, "Someone clearly doesn't know her own strength." That was when Luke made his presence known. "That's because she trains with me every day. She is an amazing fighter," he boasted. I rolled my eyes as Luke gave me a friendly hug. "Of course you'd say she's an amazing fighter. She is your mate." I laughed. Luke laughed and shook Carter's hand after introducing himself. Sophia noticed Hunter and Lana walk past us, and her eyes suddenly snapped to mine. I shook my head, and her eyes turned cold. "Whatever. My best friend looks absolutely stunning. She is definitely the prettiest here," Sophia gushed. I knew she said it louder than needed. 1, because I know my best friend, and 2, because Hunter turned around, and Sophia had a satisfied smile on her face. I shook my head at her. She would never change, Lycan or not. "Well, not as beautiful as you. Someone is having a very hard time keeping his eyes off of you," I teased. Sophia didn't get a chance to react as Carter handed us both drinks, and we engaged in small talk. It must have been about 10 minutes later when two very familiar voices shouted my name, and Carter whipped his head around so fast, saying the word I loathed, "Mate."